Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be the art of letting women chase you. I've got two emails that I'm going to go through with you today. The first email is from a guy that screwed up with a girl that was really into him, and now he's like, what the hell do I do? And the second email is from a guy who has completely turned his life around. Things are going great, and women are chasing him. So this is a great video for those of you that are still maybe kind of struggling with balancing, pursuing too much and not enough. But before we get into that, got the hardcover of my new book here. It's available on lulu.com right now. It should be available about a week or so on Amazon, but also the audiobook is available of my new book on Audible. It's also available on iTunes if you want to get there. And what's really great is if you do the Audible free trial, not only can you get my new book, Mastering Yourself, available in audio format for free, at least as of the time of this video being published, you actually get two books for free with an Audible free trial. So you can actually get my first book, How to Be a 3% Man, for free, and Mastering Yourself totally for free by doing a free trial. So you got nothing to lose. And it's also available, like my first book, is available totally for free on my website. So if you go to my website, subscribe to the email newsletter, you can read my new book if you're not sure if the book's for you or not, because it's a book on self-reliance. It's not a dating and relationship book at all. It's about my personal journey, everything I went through in business, career, life, negotiation strategies for your job, to get the job that you want, the process that I went through, the internal questions that I asked myself, and how I became comfortable at following my own heart when it came to my career or businesses that I've had. So it's, in other words, I share everything I went through, what I learned, where I fucked up, where I did things right, because obviously we learn a lot more about life and being successful from our failures than we really do by learning from our successes. I also have everything in there I've learned about health and taking care of your body so you don't have the flu or common colds. You can breathe through both your nostrils, which, that was something I never experienced until the time I was around my, early 30s. That was, I haven't been a guy that got sick every couple of months for his whole life up until he was like in his early 30s, and I was never able to breathe through more than just one nostril at a time without using nose spray. Man, what a revelation it's been. So I put some really simple recipes in the book. I talk about, again, the health, different resources that have helped me. So it's really a book on being a great, successful human being, how to figure out what it is that you want to do in life. And for most of us, at least for me, it was a process to get from where I was to where I wanted to be. And I detailed that as much as possible with all the ups and downs that I had, because the reality is, becoming successful at anything in life, it's a long process. It's not an overnight flip the switch type of thing. And so by learning from the process that I went through, and just like my first book was an autobiography of my personal life, this new book, Mastering Yourself, is an autobiography of my professional life and everything I've learned about health and success mindsets, overcoming challenges, and doing things when I was either too scared to do them or was afraid I wasn't good enough. So you can learn from my mindsets and how I did it. But again, you can read it totally for free on my website before you decide whether or not it's right for you. If you're skeptical, if you're just ready to buy it, again, you can go to Audible and get both my books totally for free with the offer that Amazon has going currently. So let's go through the quote that I wrote, and then we'll go through the first email. The quote says, "While it is true that a man is expected to chase and win a woman's heart, this really only applies to the beginning of a relationship. An alpha male that is centered on his purpose and mission in life seeks a woman to complement his already great and complete life so they can share their completeness together. Beta males who don't know any better try to force too many interactions, are impatient, needy, and seek a woman's validation and approval because deep down they don't believe they are worthy and deserving of her love. An alpha male knows he is worthy and acts in such a way that it makes a woman feel safe and comfortable enough to submit, follow his lead, and later on in the courtship do most of the pursuing because her natural innate instinct is to bond, connect, and open up to receive love kicks in once he has demonstrated through his actions that he is worthy of her heart, trust, and love. So with that in mind, let's see where this first guy is going sideways, because I know a lot of people watching this video are probably in a similar situation. He says, "Hi, Coach. I met a girl in late December and hooked up with her the first time I met her. She seemed interested, so she texted me back, and we've hung out, dated, and hooked up a lot during the first 4 weeks we got to know each other. She'd blow up my phone and text me every day. So obviously in the beginning, he was doing pretty much everything right. And she obviously was really into him from the beginning. But like a lot of guys, he talked her out of liking him. She'd invite me to her work. She's also a bartender. We've had the exclusive talk, and she told me she can't give me a relationship. So in other words, he brought up being exclusive, which this is feminine energy. Remember, feminine energy is bonding, connecting, opening up to receive love, dating, relationship labels. And you're acting like a woman. And the reality is she wasn't ready, and so you're trying to lock her down. You gotta, just like I talked in my last video, love is allowing, and you're trying to force things here. She said she's still in love with her ex. That's her excuse. But the reality is that you're turning her off by acting like a beta male because you're seeking validation in her. It's like you were this one guy when she met you, and then when you got focused and fixated on her, and this is your dream woman, you completely changed. Now you're acting like a different guy. Like you can't go to sleep at night without seeking her validation and know that she's still into you. Or worse, worrying about whether or not she's going to go back to her ex. It's all about emotions. She's just using the ex as the excuse. Oh, I'm just not over my ex yet. Well, she obviously didn't give a damn about the ex when she was fucking your brains out in the beginning and blowing your fucking phone up. But the other thing to consider, and I wrote about this in the book, is especially somebody who was with an ex for several years, and they start dating you, and it's been really relatively recently that they had a breakup, you will see them going hot and cold. But you can tell from his email that he pursued too much. Instead of the relationship being her idea, he's trying to lock her down to a commitment. You see, it gets worse. Also, she knows I've never been in a relationship and told me I'm not ready. In other words, she's starting to recognize this guy, he's got no game. He doesn't know what he's doing. A couple of days before Valentine's Day, I asked her out, but she said she was working. You're really into this, and she's not that into it. You're treating her like your girlfriend or your wife, and you're just a guy that she's been kind of occasionally hooking up and fucking. And obviously, she's kind of turned off at this point. He says, I got really desperate, and on Valentine's Day, I asked if I could come into her work and told her I got something, flowers. Come on, man. Have you read the book yet, dude? Read it 10 to 15 times. My first book, How to Be a 3% Man. You can get the Audible version totally for free and my new book for free. But obviously, in your situation, you definitely want to read 3% Man first because that's going to solve that immediate problem. Then you can worry about mastering yourself after. She said it was going to be really busy and she was training someone that night, possibly an excuse. Yeah, in other words, she's like, I don't really want to see you, dude. And you're trying to force yourself into her life. In other words, you don't think she still digs you. You can tell she's slipping away, so you're figuring, oh, I'll just give her flowers and she'll like me more. So the flowers were a bribe for sex in a relationship because you feel her slipping away. That's really weak, dude. You only give flowers to your girlfriend or your wife maybe once or twice a year, so they're special. I mean, every guy, when he feels a chick slipping away or when he's trying to win a girl, he starts buying flowers, and it just comes off as a bribe. It's inappropriate. She told me not to take it the wrong way, and it's not because she didn't want to see me. Translation, it's because I don't want to see you. That's the reality. Women don't want to hurt your feelings. It's not that they lie, they don't think most guys can take it because the reality is most guys can't. They fucking come unglued. But why don't you like me? You were really into me before. You were calling and texting me all the time and we were fucking all the time, and now it's like you're too busy to see me? What's up? Why? I don't understand. Bad way to go, dude. Funny thing is, she went really cold on me at the beginning of February. Well, that's not a surprise at all. We hooked up and I slept at her place on the 31st. Ever since then, she isn't texting and we barely talk anymore. What should I do, coach? Read the book 10 to 15 times. My first book, How to Be a 3% Man. You should immerse yourself in that. You can go read it for free on my website by subscribing to the newsletter. You need to do that ASAP. Stop being a lazy ass and figuring you're just going to cherry pick some info from the videos. If you're just trying to cherry pick, you may attract her back a little bit, but another thing you should do is review 7 principles to get an ex back, because this is not working for you, bro. You need to get radically focused on your mission and your purpose in life and let this woman be. Let her wonder what happened to you. I wouldn't call her or text her at all anymore because you've done way too much. I mean, this girl was blowing your phone up. She was doing all the pursuing. And then you started doing all the pursuing. In other words, you were acting like a man in the beginning and she was all over you. And then when you started acting like a little lovesick puppy, a little girl basically, she blew you off. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm training somebody at work today. After the last time I slept with her, she's gone really cold. Stop pursuing her. Dating is like a game of tennis. It's like you hit the ball over the net and you wait for her to hit it back. And if she doesn't hit it back, you walk up the court and go play with somebody else. Read 7 principles to get an ex back and get on it, dude. If you don't cut it out, you're going to turn her off to the point where she's just going to blow you or give you the friend zone speech, or worse, she'll ghost your ass. So let's go through the next email. This guy's got a success story. So let's see the flip side. Here's somebody that's doing everything right. He says, "Hi, Corey. I've been meaning to shoot you an email, but kept putting it off. I don't really have a question, but rather wanted to say thank you. I've been following your work for a year and a half now, and when I found your YouTube videos, I was in the process of opening my business. I was single and not having the kind of success with the kind of women that I thought I should be having or that I knew I deserved." Well, that's what started me in this whole journey. Back in my 20s, I wanted to know. I was like, what the fuck? What's the differences that make the difference? I was lucky enough to get into a few long-term relationships over the years, but was always dumped or cheated on, and I pleaded, begged, etc. for them not to leave. It's horrible. I know, bad way to go. Yep. He said, "I always been the hopeless romantic, buying things for women, flowers, gift cards, etc." Just like I said in the first guy's email, he was using gifts as a bribe for sex in a relationship. I mean, that's what they show you to do in all the movies, right? Do it in real life, you get blown off. He says, "Thinking that the way to a woman's heart was through endlessly kissing their ass, even though I knew and felt deep down that this was totally wrong. But that's what you see in the movies. You see the women acting like men and the men act like little fucking girls. It's disgusting. It doesn't work in the real world. It's a fucking turnoff. That's why women are like, where the hell are all the real men? They've been fucking feminized and beta maleized to the point where they don't even know how to act like men anymore. I was not centered in my masculinity, and I would chase and chase and chase. I subconsciously didn't feel like I deserved the kind of woman that knocked my socks off, and unfortunately this was portrayed through my interactions with whatever woman I had my eye on. After watching a bunch of your YouTube videos, I bought a copy of your book and read it countless times, as well as purchased the audio version, and I listen to it all the time in my car, still to this day." So this is why this guy is successful. He reads it over and over and over and over again. This is why the most successful people in the world are always trying to get better. They're always looking for an edge. Successful entrepreneurs, 2 things that they always do successfully. Number 1 is they innovate, and number 2 is they're great at marketing. Because of you and doing the work on my part, I now have the confidence and knowledge to succeed with women and in my business and life like I never had before. Because he's focused on doing what a man should do, his purpose and his mission first and foremost. Women, when you're focused that way, women are a complement to your already awesome life. I'm currently in a relationship, she asked me, with a very attractive, independent alpha female that can't get enough of me. So the first guy, he's basically acting like a woman, and this guy's acting like a man. I mean, it's complete night and day difference. This woman literally knocks my socks off. I've never dated anyone that I connect with on a level like this in my entire life. It's fucking awesome. First time I got to experience that, it's like everything looks better. The sky looks better. The sun looks better. The clouds look better. The ocean looks better. You wake up in the morning and you feel better. Life just seems so much more awesome when your heart is filled with love. It's nothing like it. Totally changes you forever when you get to experience that for the first time. When you walk down the street with a woman on your arm that knocks your fucking socks off and you're totally content and fulfilled every way, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically, it's like most people never get to experience that, not even once in their life. It totally changes your paradigm. And it helps you focus on your mission, your purpose as well, because it builds your confidence. Now you feel like a stud. Now you feel like you're playing full out in your personal life, whereas like most people, you were always struggling. And she says the same thing about me. It's literally so effortless and the sex is amazing. I wait for her to contact me, and when she does, I set up our next get-together, whether it's a quiet evening indoors or an adventure out on the town. Now, a woman head over heels in love with you is going to be calling and texting you usually 2 to 3 times a day. There's just no reason to pursue at that point. It's counterproductive. The man pursues in the beginning, but as the woman kind of picks up the ball and runs with it, like I talk about in the quote at the beginning of the video, she takes over, because this is innate with all women. This is an instinctual thing. When a man has shown his worth through his actions, it makes her feel safe and comfortable to let him lead. She feels she can trust him. She can trust his masculinity. I always try to keep her guessing and mix it up. We've been together for 6 months, and she's still constantly sending me sweet texts, singing my praises, making sure I don't go without anything, and always making sure my manly needs are met, aka lots of indoor Olympics. I like this girl. Women like that are rare. She sounds like a giver, dude. Good job. I wouldn't be where I am today without you, Coach. You changed my life. Thank you so much for your book, for all your hard work, your knowledge, and your insight. Wishing you all the best that life has to offer. Well, likewise, dude. And for those of you that would like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a coaching session with yours truly, and you can do that on my website by clicking the products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and also in the toolbar at the bottom you can click the coaching option. And I will talk to you soon.